Morning America. Breaking overnight, bowling alley shooting. The late night fight turned deadly. 3 people killed, 4 injured when shots are fired outside Los Angeles. The chaotic scene as police try to sort out what happened.
Border wall battle. President Trump now considering a drastic step to get it done.
We can use them, absolutely. We can call a national emergency because of the security of our country.
The legal battle that could follow. The president warning it could continue for more than a year. Plus, how it could impact everything from the TSA to your tax refund.
Candid Congress, the new member under fire for her comments about President Trump.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the...
And why this new member is dancing as the new Democratic majority sets its sights on President Trump's tax returns.
Wrongful death suit. The parents of missing Colorado mom Kelsey Barrett suing their daughter's fiance. The claims they're making this morning and the reported investigation into a nurse. Did she try to dispose of Barrett's cell phone?
Caught on camera, look at this. To the rescue. Police and Good Samaritans pitching in to help a man trapped in a burning SUV. The race against time to save him.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning. A lot to get to on this Saturday morning, including wet weather for the Northeast and the latest on that government shutdown.
But we want to start here with breaking news out of California. Police say 3 people were killed and 4 injured in a shooting overnight at a bowling alley in the city of Torrance.
Witnesses say what started as a late night fight then turned deadly. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is on the story from our Los Angeles bureau with more. Marcy, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Witnesses are describing a chaotic scene after gunfire broke out at that bowling alley. Police responded to calls of shots fired at the Gable House Bowl just before midnight in Torrance. That's about 20 miles south of Los Angeles. Witnesses say a verbal fight broke out among some women. It turned physical with others joining in, and then shots rang out. Terrified customers say they just ran for cover.
As they were fighting, and then the guys got into the fight, and people were up and down. And probably not even a good minute later, we heard gunshots. Pop, 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 pop.
I seen people running, and I heard gunshots, and I tried to get down, and my daughter is right there, my niece is right there. I told everybody to get down.
Everyone just started running for their lives to the cars and just took off and started running.
All available units down to the Gable House for crowd control.
And we're told the bowling alley does have security guards, but they are unarmed. Again, 3 people killed, 4 injured. Police are not saying whether the suspect is among them or whether that person is in custody. Guys, back to you.
We'll await more information on that. Marcy Gonzalez in Los Angeles, thank you so much. Now to the partial government shutdown entering its 15th day this morning with Democrats and the president locked in a stalemate.
The president warning this shutdown could be far from over, and he's considering a drastic move to fund his border wall. ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is at the White House with the details. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Eva. Neither side is willing to give an inch. In fact, they seem to be hardening in their positions, and now the president is looking at ways to bypass Congress to get funding for the wall.
In a surprise appearance in the Rose Garden, the president standing firm in his decision to keep the doors of the government closed. The president confirming his threat to Democratic leaders that he's willing to keep the government shut down for months or a year or longer if he does not get funding for his wall at the Mexican border.
Is that your assessment of where we are? Absolutely, I said that. I don't think it will, but I am prepared. Without borders, I've said it many times, we don't have a country.
2 weeks into the shutdown, and both sides are locked in a bitter stalemate.
We discussed a bunch of issues, as the leader said, that were somewhat contentious, and we'll continue discussing, of course.
Now the president signaling he's willing to take drastic measures by ordering a national emergency to bypass Congress and build the wall himself, telling our Terry Moran.
Have you considered using emergency powers to grant yourself authorities to build this wall without congressional approval?
Yes, I have.
Mexico, you have?
Yes, I have. And I can do it if I want.
So you don't need congressional approval to build the wall?
No, we can use them, absolutely. We can call a national emergency because of the security of our country, absolutely. No, we can do it. I haven't done it. I may do it.
So is that a threat hanging over the Democrats?
I never threaten anybody. But I am allowed to do that, yes.
But the president's former Homeland Security advisor and ABC News contributor Tom Bossert warns that it would most certainly be challenged by the courts.
He will bring about legal challenges, congressional objection, and a whole series of really difficult to resolve administrative law matters.
While his staff has been telling Democrats that they're ready to compromise on the $5.6 billion for border security, this morning Trump not willing to budge.
We want $5.6 billion, very strongly, because numbers are thrown around, 1.6, 2.1, 2.5. This is national security we're talking about.
And neither is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, who is refusing to pass a bill that includes funding for that wall.
We're not doing a wall. Does anybody have any doubt about we're not doing a wall?
The victims of this bitter battle, 800,000 federal employees working without pay or furloughed. The president says their pain is for a higher purpose.
The people that won't get next week's pay or the following week's pay, I think if you ever really looked at those people, I think they'd say, Mr. President, keep going. This is far more important.
Working groups of staffers will continue negotiating over the weekend, but no matter what happens, the government will be closed until Tuesday because Congress is out of session until then. Eva?
Well, Tara, this shutdown is apparently having an impact on the TSA as well. Screeners working without pay.
That's right, Eva. TSA says that there have been an increase in call-outs since the holidays, but they say that there's been minimal impact on security. Eva?
All right, Tara Palmieri at the White House, thank you. Are you feeling the impact of the government shutdown, like having problems getting your tax questions answered by the IRS, or your student loans or other payments are delayed? Maybe you're a member of the military, federal law enforcement, or work for the government and are worried about paying your bills. ABC News wants to hear your shutdown stories. Go to our Good Morning America Facebook page to find out how to share them.
And with the shutdown looming over Washington, the new House majority is pushing ahead with its agenda. ABC's Lana Zak is on Capitol Hill with the ambitious first bill Democrats are trying to pass. Lana, good morning.
Good morning to you. Democrats now have control of the House of Representatives and a new power to set the agenda. But just 2 days in, and there's already public disagreement about how that should be used when it comes to President Trump.
This morning, the new Congress taking aim at President Trump.
We are introducing H.R. 1 to hold legislation to clean up corruption and restore integrity to government.
House Democrats unveiling a sweeping political reform package that could target the president's tax returns. But what's happening outside the House chamber is also garnering attention. The spotlight on Michigan's newly elected representative, Rashida Tlaib, for her use of profanity to describe the president.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the
Some Democrats not pleased.
I think those kind of comments do not take us in the right direction. So I would say that they are inappropriate.
President Trump going further.
I thought that was a great dishonor to her and to her family. I thought it was highly disrespectful to the United States of America.
And arguing that he doesn't see how he can be impeached.
You don't impeach people when they're doing a good job.
Republicans are calling on Pelosi to disavow Tlaib's remarks. But Pelosi says the president isn't one to lecture on language.
I don't think it's anything worse than what the president has said.
And Representative Tlaib tells Detroit local NBC station WDIV she's unapologetic.
I am very passionate, and I grew up in an incredibly beautiful urban community of the city of Detroit, born and raised. We say, colorful things in interesting ways.
Meanwhile, another freshman congresswoman making waves, New York's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, after anonymous tweets of this college video were posted in an apparent attempt to embarrass her. She responded by posting this new video on Twitter, writing, "Wait till they find out Congresswomen dance too."
Now, guys, that video has already garnered more than 13 million views. It's quickly become the #1 tweet of the millennial congresswoman, who's also pushing for an end to pay-go rules and an increase to the top tax rate. Dan?
Lana Zak on Capitol Hill. Thank you. Joining us now, ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd. For once, he's actually in the studio with us. We love that.
Great
Good morning,
to be here.
sir.
We're going to do an Ocasio dance.
Well, I will let you do it if you want.
I'll dance on the inside. I'll dance on the inside.
You're always dancing on the inside. Let's start here, not with that congresswoman, but with the other congresswoman who was mentioned in that piece, Congresswoman Tlaib out of Michigan, your home state. You have written a column on abcnews.com calling on her to apologize. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was actually born in the district she represents in Detroit. I understand the sort of grittiness and the sort of chip on the shoulder thing and why that people are responding to Donald Trump because he's degraded discourse in this country. It doesn't do any good, I think, to sink to that level and utilize those words and in that way. And I think she is much better off, even politically, if you just take a look at not using those words, but politically, I think she doesn't accomplish her goals of what she wants in Congress by doing that, because she just forces the other side to respond to her. So even politically and just from a personal way, I don't think it helps our country in the discourse we have.
Let me ask you about some other news breaking overnight in the world of politics. Massachusetts Senator Democrat Elizabeth Warren campaigning in the great state of Iowa. This makes her the first declared Democratic presidential candidate to hit the stump in Iowa. We're expecting this to be a very, 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 very crowded field, perhaps a dozen or two or three Democratic candidates. How do you like Warren's odds in this field?
I think she was really smart for a couple of reasons. First, to get out there first. She had huge crowds last night, standing room only, overflow crowds in Iowa where she went. She's ideologically aligned with a major part of the Democratic caucus and major part of the party in that. And I think being a woman this year and in 2020 is going to be a huge asset. 2/3 of the Democratic primary voters will be women. And so I think she has an advantage. I think the question for her and for all the candidates that are going to run is, how do they do under the glare of the spotlight of a national campaign? Because we never really know. Some candidates that you thought were going to be great fade, and some candidates we had no idea about rise to the occasion. So I think she will be in the top tier as it goes forward, but the question is does she perform well under the spotlight?
Yeah, anybody making predictions at this point is on thin ice.
Especially, as you say, we're going to have dozens of candidates.
Absolutely. So let's finish here with the government shutdown, because this is really the dominant political story of the moment. Both sides are digging in. We've been saying that now for more than 2 weeks. Do you have a sense of who is going to blink first, given all of the talking we heard publicly yesterday?
Well, the lead into this, as you saw, Nancy Pelosi and the president don't seem to be blinking at all in this in the days ahead. We're about to, next Friday, this coming Friday, we're about to set a record on a shutdown. The previous record's been 21 days. What I think the best outcome of this is, at some point, as you said, TSA, people aren't getting paid. Air traffic controllers, who are getting more irritable and aren't getting paid, isn't good for anybody in this, especially people who travel, is that they don't give him the funding he wants for the wall, but they give him the words he can use to claim that he won this debate. I think Donald Trump isn't fundamentally interested in actually the policy of this. He's interested in a victory. And if they give him some route where he can claim victory is the only way out of this.
What would that even look like?
They would have to do it in such a way that language in the legislation would provide him an out and provide him an ability to say, see, I won, and they don't do what he wants. But I think at this point in time, both sides are backed in a corner. Both sides are standing firm. And I could see this thing going on and set not only a record for a shutdown, but going on for a month or 2 or 3 months, as the president said himself.
And there's real human suffering here. We should not forget that.
Yeah, and I think Americans, at some point, Americans are going to tune in and really focus on this and then feel the impact of this. They're going to feel and when that happens, both sides are going to have to come to the table.
Matthew Dowd, great to have you here in person.
Great to be here.
You're always welcome to dance on this broadcast.
I want to. Can I see you dance first?
So, I've got a pulled hammy right now, so that's not going to happen.
We just saw him eat the other day.
You can do the shoulders. Do the shoulders.
Yeah, well, I'm a little tight. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. They're telling me we've got a wrap. They don't want to see me dance. Appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Anything to get out of it, right?
Yes.
All right. Yes. Turning now, the parents of a missing Colorado mom have filed a wrongful death suit against her fiance.
Yeah, so this is about Patrick Frazee. He's charged with the murder of Kelsey Barrett. ABC's Ariel Reshef is in studio and on the story. Ariel, good morning to you.
Good morning to you guys. For the first time with this lawsuit, Kelsey Barrett's parents publicly acknowledging the worst, joining police in their belief their daughter is no longer alive.
This morning, the parents of Kelsey Barrett now filing a civil lawsuit against their daughter's fiancé, Patrick Frazee, just hours after he appeared in court on charges he killed the Colorado mom. The suit accusing him of wrongful death, claiming Frazee acted as either the perpetrator or accessory to the murder of Kelsey Barrett. Her parents also alleging negligence, saying Frazee inflicted physical, mental, and emotional acts of violence upon Kelsey Barrett prior to her death. The lawsuit claiming civil conspiracy and the intentional infliction of emotional distress on the parents. Just days before Christmas, police cutting the lock to a gate on Frazee's 35-acre property as they say he attempted to leave, taking him into custody.
You see him? He's in cuffs.
Kelsey Barrett last spotted on surveillance video shopping with the couple's 1-year-old daughter at this supermarket on Thanksgiving Day. Police say Frazee was the last person to see her alive.
Her phone did end up in Idaho.
Her cell phone allegedly turning up 700 miles away. Frazee charged with first-degree murder and solicitation to commit murder.
As part of the investigation, multiple sources tell ABC News authorities are looking at a 32-year-old nurse from Idaho who police believe may have tried to dispose of Barrett's cell phone. Sources say the woman has known Frazee for years. Guys, we're not using her name because she has not been charged with a crime. Frazee is due back in court next month.
But lots of layers to the story.
Lots of layers that we have to remember. There's a 1-year-old who doesn't have a mother.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks,
Ariel, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, new details this morning emerging on that deadly multi-car crash on a Florida highway that killed 7 people, including 5 children. The van carrying 9 children and 3 adults bursting into flames on Interstate 75 near Gainesville on Thursday. Authorities now say a tractor trailer and a car heading northbound collided, crashing through a guardrail right into the path of a tractor trailer, and the church van headed south.
And a dramatic rescue on a Texas highway caught on camera. Dash cam video shows some Good Samaritans help Corpus Christi police officers rescue a 70-year-old man trapped in an SUV. Watch this. It was on fire after being hit by a wrong-way driver. They managed to tip the vehicle over and free the man. The police department saying that the man would not have survived without their efforts. Incredible.
With all the bad news we do, it's nice to have proof now and again that human nature can be incredibly generous. Yeah. Thank you for that, Whit. We're going to turn now to the brother of an American man being detained over in Russia, making a plea now for help. David Whelan insists that his brother, Paul, who you see here, is not a spy, and ABC's Julia McFarland is in our London bureau with the latest on this. Julia, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. The former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, he's now been locked in a Moscow jail for several days after being arrested on charges of spying. His family now urging President Trump to get involved for his safe return. In an op-ed published by the Washington Post Friday, Whelan's brother David now writing, he is many things to many people, but he is not a spy. Also going on to explain his use of Russian websites and justified his 4 passports. Meanwhile, though, a Russian news site with ties to the security services claims Whelan was caught with a classified list of Russian operatives, saying that Whelan had been spying for the U.S. for 10 years, trying to recruit Russians through internet chat rooms and social media. Now, the U.S. ambassador to Russia, John Huntsman, and his staff saw the Michigan resident earlier this week, reporting he was alive and unhurt, but some are speculating that this arrest is all about reciprocity after the illegal Russian agent Maria Butina was arrested in July, later pleading guilty to a conspiracy charge. Eva?
All right, thanks, Julia. Now, health officials are urging everyone to get their flu shots as the CDC says flu activity is growing across the country. The federal agency says 19 states are now reporting high levels of flu activity. The number of pediatric flu-related deaths has now reached 13 for the season. A good reminder.
Absolutely.
You see everyone sniffling.
Everybody's got the everybody's got the Purell and the tissues out right now.
And the doctors say it is not too late to get it. Even though we're in January, you can still do it.
Good point. Let's turn to Rob Marciano, back fresh from vacation.
Yeah, I feel great. No sniffles.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got that glow going on.
Sunshine.
Vibrant Marciano.
5 days, New Year's resolution. I'm going to just take more time off this year. That's the way it's going to go
Just not
down.
on the weekend.
You people work harder. Go to the gym, eat your salads. I'm not doing anything. Let's show you Sarasota, Florida. This is where some of the rain was with a lingering front over the weekend. And over the weekend. Today's Saturday. This was yesterday. Get it straight here. Morristown, Tennessee, in eastern parts of Tennessee, seeing some straight line winds that did a little damage, all with this very strong system that's now spinning across Virginia, really right over Washington, D.C., but you see some of the rain across parts of the Northeast, and there's some cold air in here as well, so maybe some freezing rain. You see some of the temperatures here right around the freezing mark in Binghamton, I-90, Albany, and up the Connecticut River Valley. Might see some pockets of freezing rain before this surge of warm air goes again. I haven't seen much snow here, so we'll take the mild temperatures, but you get to kind of the cold, nasty rains, which will end later today, and then colder air coming in behind this. Meanwhile, the midsection of the country kind of mild. Talk more about that in a sec. Time now for a look at your local forecast. Here you go.
Hello and good morning, Washington. Yes, unfortunately, rain to start out the weekend. I'd say the best likelihood today from around 9 o'clock this morning, a couple showers earlier than that, all the way through around 3 o'clock this afternoon. Just some lingering showers, maybe some late day sunshine. High temperatures surging near the 50-degree mark. Now overnight, partly cloudy, 36 in the outlying suburbs, 43